Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. Today I'm going to be showing you how to achieve this makeup look. I think it really is the epitome of fall, and it's one that I'm hoping to wear quite a bit this season, whether I'm hanging out with friends or going to work. But before we jump into the video, I really hope you could give me a follow on Instagram and TikTok. My handle is Michelle Shavolsky, and then please be sure to subscribe to my channel and leave a like or comment. I'd love to hear from you. But again, without further ado, let's jump right into it. And the SPF I'm going in with is going to be the, which one is this actually? Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Dewy Defense Hydrating Fluid with SPF 30. So I picked this up maybe about like a month ago, and I'm actually really loving it. If you're familiar with Glow Recipe, the scent is pretty much that same watermelon and the texture is so lovely. So I go in with quite a bit. I do a dot of that size on each cheek because your face really needs a lot of sunscreen. I'm gonna go in with this and I'm just gonna rub it in quickly and then I'll show you guys the next step. All right, so you can see it's quite a bit of dewy finish. I really love this SPF. Going in with the next step, I'm actually going to go in with my tried and true, which you've seen plenty of times. This is the Hourglass Hydrating Skin Tint. The shade that I use is shade 3. And for this, I'm actually going to bring you guys a little bit closer so you can see how it applies on the skin. All right, and then you guys are much closer. I will show you. So I go in with about this much on each cheek, like that, and then I do a little bit on the chin as well. It's really fluid, that's one thing I will say. It's not the tidiest product, but I definitely really enjoy wearing it. And I go in with my hands. I don't like a brush for this one, and I don't like a beauty blender either. I find that it does leave streaks, and the best way to get it to melt into your skin is by rubbing it in with your hands. And then as you could see, it still shows the skin quite well. Like, it hasn't really hid any of my blemishes. The next thing that I'm actually going to go in with is going to be the concealer. So I'm going to be using my tried and true Haus Labs. This is the Tricolone Skintech Concealer in shade 4. It's a really neutral shade, but honestly, this is probably my 6th bottle that I'm repurchasing, and I don't see myself ever switching it. My main complaint with this product is the doe foot actually does break up at a certain point. So eventually this piece of the brush is actually going to break off and get stuck in the actual tube. It's a little infuriating. It's happened to me 3 times. Tried to use it lightly. I've tried to use it the way I usually would use with a concealer. It still happens. So I usually apply my concealer like this, and then I go in with a brush and I really just try to blend it in as much as I can. And this is what gives me that coverage that I need to kind of hide some of my blemishes or dark spots, scarring, and so on. It also does enough to brighten the under eye, which I love. And I'm so sorry, but I have really long bangs right now, so I don't think you guys could see much of my eyes, but I'll try to show it more. But look at that luminosity. Like, could we just talk about this? I think before we proceed, I'm actually gonna clip a part of my hair up because I feel like I'm getting a little hot, you know? So I'm gonna go in with a claw clip. This one is from Boots, so if you're in the UK, best hair clips. I've banged them up, I've dropped them, and they've lasted me about 5 years, which I think is quite a significant amount of time. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna clip up, and then I'm actually gonna zoom you guys a little bit out. Okay, so I've zoomed you guys out a little, and I'm really happy with how the skin is looking like between the SPF, the skin tint, and then my favorite concealer. I think like this combination really gives you that glassy skin, and I'm really happy with how everything is looking like. But as the next step, I'm going to go in with my tried and true contour. So Patrick Ta, what is this called? She's Statuesque. So this is the Cream and Contour and Powder Bronzer Duo. I really love the cream contour shade in here. And I'm actually just going to take the brush that I used for my concealer because I feel like it tones it down a little. But I'm gonna go in just in this section over here. Let's see. And then I'm gonna start chiseling the face. And I try not to bring it down too much because I don't want to look gaunt. Not that I would, but it's definitely my preference to keep it as high as possible, and then bring the excess to the temples right over here. And then if you guys are curious as to what I'm listening to, I will actually link my favorite house music playlist in the description. This is usually what I listen to get ready to go to the gym. It's a big vibe and it just brightens my day. But yeah, it is a little low, I will say, compared to what I'm used to, but it's okay. We'll make it work. And I think I've just hit pan on the cream contour, which is a little devastating. I really hope that's not the case, but it looks like it is. So definitely gonna need to repurchase this. Or if you guys have any recommendations for cream contours, please let me know in the comments, because I would happily try something new. But I just love it. And I think I'm gonna keep this look fairly powder free, because I do think as we head into the winter season, skin's just gonna look much drier. Yeah, I think this looks good. So yeah, not going in with the powder. Next thing that I'm gonna go in with is going to be my blush. And as always, nothing has changed. I am still a Chanel girly, but this time I'm actually going to go in with the Joue Contraste in Pink Explosion. So this one is much cooler, I guess, in shade in comparison to what I've been using in my other videos. I would say this is definitely the shade I go for during the cooler seasons. And you know, we're heading into fall. This is definitely one that I reach for way more, because the other one is definitely, I would say, more coral. This one pulls a little bit more pink, and then I do a bit of stippling slash circle motions when I'm applying my blush. Maybe we go in a little bit more. Yeah, I think a little bit more is definitely needed, and it won't hurt to add a bit more color to the face. I feel like when I put a bit of the skin tint on, I need to compensate a little bit with the blush. And then I'm gonna put a little bit on the nose, excess on the chin, just like underneath. And I think that's it. So that's the complexion. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think the bronzer slash cream contour with the blush and the foundation really makes my skin look fresh. And then I think this is right here is without the filter, and I'm really happy with it. I still haven't figured out how to get that filter off of my camera, but I promise you in my next video it will be gone. The next thing that I'm actually going to go in with is going to be a tiny bit of lilac setting powder, and again, going with Chanel. This is no longer available, but this was from their Tarot collection, and it's in a lavender shade. I said lilac, lavender, different things, but you got what I meant. The shade is like this. I want to see if you guys can maybe see it. It's very bright, and I will say this has done me dirty. Sometimes you could clearly see where I put the lilac shade, because I think my foundation pulled a little bit too dark. So this time I'm gonna try it out again with you guys. I haven't used it at all this summer, because I do find that it feels nicer in the winter. I think in the summer we all tend to go more bronzy, golden, yellow tone, warm tone. This is definitely on the cooler side. And what I'm gonna use is this Sephora powder puff, and I'm just gonna rub it in. You could see the shade, and then I'm just gonna place it underneath, and I want to see if you guys could see a difference. I'm gonna go in a bit more, and then you could see where I've put it. And I really do like how the purple looks like here it doesn't feel like there's a lot of connection between the blush and I'm gonna take a little bit here just to make sure that it's not just like right under my under eye so that it blends. I feel like there's just a bit more blend between the blush and my face. So I'm gonna do the same on the other side. I'm not putting this anywhere else. And yeah, I really do like it. It's definitely burned me a few times, and I even think right now it's very purple, but I think that this is part of the look. And if you love like the Huda one, I think it's definitely comparable, but I would say I feel like the Huda is even more purple. And then I think for the sake of making sure that my face kind of matches, I will go in with the Mario setting powder in Fair Pink, and this is the Surrealskin Soft Blur setting powder. But I think this might help out a little bit in the chin area. I'm gonna go very sparingly, and then do this, and then maybe perhaps take a little bit of the excess, connect it between the lilac from the Chanel, and then I'm also gonna take it on the side of the cheeks. Just again, a bit more synergies for my whole face, because right now I do feel like, well, not anymore, but I did feel like it looked a little bit crazy with the purple, but you know, I feel like in the end it'll look good. I'll say the Chanel setting powder doesn't crease, which is really nice. I want to show you guys a little bit up close. This lighting is jarring. The next thing that I'm actually going to go in with is going to be a bit of eyeshadow, and the one that I'm going to go in with is going to be a Chanel one as well. This is the Les Beige palette in Cool. I do think this is from one of their limited collections as well, but really, if you have any eyeshadows, specifically this one that has a bit of that purple pull, it's definitely going to be really nice. So yeah, I'm gonna go in with that, and I will show you guys how that looks like. I'm actually gonna bring you guys a little bit closer so that you guys could see my under eyes, because that's where I'm gonna go in with it, because when you have bangs, you can't really see what is being put on. So yeah, going in with this pinky purple shade over here, and then I'm just really gonna pack it on. And again, you can't really see much right now, but trust me, trust the process. I think it's gonna look gorge. And again, I really want to just look ethereal. I want to be able to wear this every day if I'm going out, or maybe I'm going to the office. So the next color that I'm going to go in with is actually going to be this one over here. And then this one will go on the corners of my eyes. Again, just to emphasize a little bit of that lash line. Make it a bit more moody. Perfect. I love when the shape looks like it's a little bit downward. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in with the pink. Tap, tap, tap gently. Excess. And then I'm going to diffuse that. But I love how it makes my eye shape look. I think it just makes it a bit more moody. Okay, so the matcha that I was drinking, I just need to sidetrack. One of my best friends, her name is Daniela. If she's watching, she really introduced me to some great matcha, and she brought back some matcha from New York, and that's what I'm having right now. It is amazing. Look at the color. I think the color says it all. And then I put in a bit of blueberry jam, because, you know, we're trying to save coin. And I'm not paying $10 for a strawberry matcha latte when I can make one at home with blueberries, which I do love more. Now that you're back, my camera died for like 5 seconds because it was overheating. The next thing that I'm going to go in with is actually going to be my lip. So I am taking the Lip Cheat in Iconic Nude from Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm going to go ahead and apply this. Okay, that's the lip liner. So the next thing I'm actually gonna go in with is going to be the CoverGirl in the Outlast lip stain in shade 20 Admire. I love this color. And I'm actually gonna use this all over my lip. Oh my god, look at that. Just look at that. I know Huda Beauty released some amazing lip tints as well. I haven't tried them because I've been on this since they released this, and it makes for such a lovely color underneath. And I just smack my lips a little. And then I'm actually going to go in with the Rhode Peptide Lip Tint in Cinnamon Roll. This was a limited edition release, but I do really love how it looks on the lips. And I'll show you guys. Just squeeze out a little. OMG. I really think this is the epitome of fall right here. Like, look at that. I really wish she will bring this back because this is amazing. And I know she just launched at Sephora, so I really hope maybe that some of her limited edition shades will actually make a small appearance in store. Tell me that is not stunning. Like, that's actually gorgeous. And there's one thing that I actually forgot to do is put on some mascara. If you know me, you know I love the Unlocked mascara from Hourglass. They recently just released a brown shade, which I'm really excited to show you guys. It doesn't feel drastically different from the black, but I do think it complements my eye color really well, and I've been loving it, and I think it's taken the first spot from the black one. So yeah, I'll just bring you guys a little bit closer, and for this section I won't really talk. I'm just going to apply it, and then you'll see the finished look after this. And here is the finished makeup look. If you guys have any comments or want to like and subscribe, please do so. It would be really appreciated, and hopefully I'll be back with another video soon. I'm really excited to wear this, and I hope you guys could recreate it potentially with your own makeup products, or if any of the ones that I mentioned in this video spoke to you, please feel free to get it, and I'd love to hear what you think. I stand by these products, and I'm really thrilled with how this makeup look turned out. And I'll see you guys soon. Hopefully my bangs are cut by then. I know I've been complaining about them, but I promise I have an appointment later in September, and yeah, I'll be back soon, and this is it. If there's anything you want to see in specific, please just let me know.